You are completing. Is it the gold age of metalurgy?
The innovation of metallurgy.
Well, no, because they have the bronze age prior.
Of
So
steel metallurgy.
that's different. Steel is different than iron.
Wait, did Maddie do a hard task?
Wait, I did mine, Jesse. I did mine. With the Truman figure out your No, he didn't. He failed.
He wasn't looking at it.
I figured out my task. I did.
Oh, Jesse, I see. I just see
My task was follow face on, and if he looks at you, you can't.
Are you done?
I'm doing power.
It's all about yes,
I keep you to know it.
What am I doing?
I'm doing my work. It's on. Oh yeah, they tell me that.
Can you finish? Are you done?
Lloyd,
Thou art scared.
I'm not.
Thou art. Thou art.
Look that up.
Marcel.
Intimidation. Thou art a disgrace to thy dating now.
Marcel.
Did everybody grab a map? Did you get a map?
Marcel, was that hard or not hard?
Cool, did you get a map? I got you. Did anybody else not get a map?
Jonah.
Map. Jacob, you got a map?
Did you complete your book?
Did you grab a map?
Did you guess anyone's task?
Map? Yeah. You all got a map? Here you go. What page is it on? What? The reference? The map? Or did you just look it up? Darn, either. I'll show you. You will be, yeah. Well, we're gonna go through a presentation real quick and then. Are you in school?
Yeah. Because I've got
Like a 1.8 kg apex. That's not. You know apex is the highest learning curve in the major FPS game flutter right now. Bro, it took me 20 hours to get my first kill.
It's not that hard. I played it at a friend's house and I got pretty close.
Yeah, but I was my own too. A learning curve is how hard it is to learn something. Or like how hard, like skateboarding, the learning curve is at the start. Skateboarding is really hard, and then it gets easier to learn new things. But like for skiing, it's the opposite. Where at the start it's really easy, but it's harder to learn new things.
Metal that's
Okay. Let's talk. All right. So, let's talk about a couple things. If you are done with your warm up, you can close your laptop. You won't need it. Well, you might need it towards the end of class, but you won't need it right now. All right. So a couple of things. So today we're actually going to do the map making activity. We were supposed to do it yesterday in class, but as you know, I was not here. So Friday I wasn't here because I was getting my laptop fixed that got broken last week. And then Monday I wasn't here because my godfather passed away on Sunday. So I just needed a day to like mourn. So that's why I wasn't here yesterday. So today we're going to go ahead and work on the African geography. So I have a quick presentation. Now, what you're going to need to do, you're going to close your laptops, okay? And then I have an experiment. I want to see, Sammy, I want to see how good of notes you guys take without any like help or guidance. So what we're going to do is I'm going to run through this PowerPoint about the geography of Africa. On the back side of your map, you're gonna take notes. Okay? And then when we are done, now I'm not gonna go slower or faster, I'm gonna go my regular speed. Now, the table that takes the best notes, according to me, so what you'll do at the end is you'll staple your map and your notes all together. And the table with the best notes will earn the ticket for last week. Okay? So the best notes will earn tickets, the 5 tickets from last week, because my points got erased, and I don't know where else. Okay? Got it? Oh, take a note. Alright? Alright. Great. You guys ready? Alright. Okay, have your pencils ready. Okay, back page of your notes page. Let's see who's gonna win some tickets. Alright? Okay, in 3, in 2, in 1. Alright, so Africa. Alright? Africa. So today we're going to talk about is the physical geography and the climate. We did watch a video last week about it, but this just gives you a little bit more information about it. Alright, so Africa is a giant continent. Okay? It is 11 million, almost 12 million square miles. So it's huge. Right? It's also 30 million square kilometers. Right? If you multiply the number of miles times 3, that's usually the number of kilometers you have. Right? And here it is 3 times bigger than the United States. So very large. And it's 1/5 of all the world's lands. So if you take all the land and smushed it all together, like if it were to give Pangea, it would take up 1/5 of the area. Alright? There's so much facts. I love this sound. It's quite great. Alright. So there are 4 regions. So this is right now going to break down each. I'm going to just keep going, okay? Remember what I said. Don't worry, you're just doing the best you can, alright, buddy? Alright. So, you're going to do your 4 regions. So first we have the northern region. This takes up countries like Libya, Tunisia, Morocco. You have Egypt, Sudan. So Mali would also be in this, right there. And in this northern part of Africa, in North Africa, you will find it's mostly Rocky Mountains. So you have the Atlas Mountains in North Africa. And it also contains the world's 2nd largest desert, the Sahara Desert. What is the first?
Antarctica.
Yeah, it's Antarctica. Yes, the icy cold place is somehow a desert.
Well, it's just dry.
Because it doesn't rain. It doesn't rain in Antarctica.
And it's done.
Well, that's true. Well, I don't know.
It's not dry.
It is though. It is. I know that snow is wet when you touch it, but it is considered a desert because it doesn't rain. It never rains there. And the air is very dry as well. Cold, like if you when it gets cold here, the air gets really cold, like dry. So it's very similar. And then your other region is Western Africa. Western Africa does contain some parts of a little bit of North Africa, so they do share some cultural alignment. But you have countries like Ghana, you have countries like Liberia, Togo, all right? So this is also a very, very densely populated part of Africa. So this is probably where you have the most population of people. Now, why would a place be densely populated? What types of things would a place need to have so that it's densely populated?
Fertile land.
Lots of fertile land, yes. So this area does have a lot of fertile land. Yes, Marcel.
A lot of water sources.
Good, a lot of water sources. This is where you would find the Niger River, Nathan.
Like comfortable weather, like ideal weather
Good weather. So look, we have fresh water. We have fertile land. We have a suitable climate, like Nathan said. And what's the fourth one? Oh, the last one is coastal access. Okay, why is coastal access important? Yes?
Trading.
Yes, like trading, exactly. You need coasts to be able to, now you have to think too, like, it's a lot. It might even be easier to take a boat, go around the Horn of Africa to sell your stuff than to go through the Sahara, right? So you have to think it might be easier to take a boat places than it would to cross this very, 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 very hot and very, very dry Sahara Desert. All right. Then after, we have Eastern Africa. Eastern Africa does encompass a little bit of Egypt, but then now we're talking about like, there's Madagascar down here. You have Eritrea, you have Somalia, you have Kenya, okay? You have Ethiopia. What else? Yeah, down in the bottom, yes. Burundi, yes, Burundi is over there on the other east side. In fact, if you go to Eritrea, they speak Italian in that one. So in the eastern side, it has lots of plateaus, okay? In the United States, you might see landforms like this if you ever travel through the southwest of the United States, so the areas of New Mexico and Arizona, some parts, not really Texas, but you'll see a lot of plateaus, right? You might even think, while the Grand Canyon is not a plateau, very similar looking, right? They're called mesas in the southwest. Maybe. There's a lot of, learning that a lot of geological terms are the same as in Minecraft. Okay, this area, this eastern side, it has the Great Rift Valley, all right? It also has what's called Lake Victoria, and down here, this is Mount Kilimanjaro, all right? So this is a huge rift. Let me see if I put it in later. But this is actually, the Earth is splitting apart right here. So it's like a big tectonic plate. So it's actually splitting, and then the snow-capped mountain of Mount Kilimanjaro feeds into Lake Victoria, and then Lake Victoria is where the Nile River starts. So, all right. And then finally, you have this last region. It's called the Central and Southern. They tend to group these two together, just because they have some similar cultural backgrounds. But you have, do you need to go to the bathroom?
No, it's still water.
All right. Got it. But you have South Africa, right? You have the Democratic Republic of Congo, Tanzania? No. Zimbabwe, South Africa's down there, yes. Namibia.
Zimbabwe.
Down there. All right, so, and in this region, it contains the most diversity in terms of geography. So it contains, it has the grassland, so it has the savannas, it has the deserts, and it has the rainforest. So in the Congo is a rainforest. The Kalahari Desert is down below the Congo. And then, so you can see that a good part of South Africa and in that region has a large desert. And in fact, what was it, like 4 years ago, South Africa and Johannesburg was actually running out of water, and they were having to truck in water because they were running out. And then, okay, so a plateau is, it is a plateau continent, so much of Africa's land is high up in elevation. The height of land is above the sea level. Yes? Yep. All right. Also, there's lots of coastal plains throughout Africa. So the land along the coast is sandy, dry, and marshy. Some escarpments, or you can also just take another piece of paper out if you need more room. Okay? And finally, you have the Great Rift Valley, and that's what I was describing before, where you find Mount Kilimanjaro. It was formed millions of years ago when the continents were being pulled apart. It is 4,000 miles long, okay? And it contains most of Africa's lakes and fresh water. So that's where yes.
If I go there, would it look like what the world splits apart when it's in like those movies?
Kind of, look. I have a picture of it. Right there. There you go, Ezra. So, now it's filled with water because it rains, but like this side of the earth once touched this side of the earth. And then the rift split, right? You can even see the rift from space. So like right here where you get this like line right there, and in there, that's where the earth split apart. We have this here in California too. So, yeah, in Death Valley. So eventually the San Andreas Fault will in fact split and we will fall into the ocean. What? I don't know, it just depends. Well,
By Tuesday.
yeah, I mean, it'll take a long time for us to fall into. Well, we won't necessarily fall into the ocean, but we might become an island with Baja California, because the fault line, the San Andreas fault line, cuts through like Palm Springs. It goes from the Salton Sea into Palm Springs and just above Los Angeles, right? So it creates like a little curvature. So if you were to like take scissors to a map, split it apart, you would see that it turns into an island. And okay, so then there are 4 major rivers in Africa. You have the Nile River, the Congo River, the Niger River or Niger River, and the Zambezi River. Okay? You have 4 major rivers, and I'm going to talk about them all, so don't worry. Right? The Nile River. Don't worry, all the rivers will be discussed. Okay? That's where you can see the river from space. It is that large. Okay? It also has a lot of what's called silt. So when the river floods, it distributes silt to irrigation, and that provides nutrients for farmers to grow their crops. Okay? It is the longest river in the world. Like I was saying, the flood leaves that thing called silt, all right, which makes behind making it very fertile. And since 1960, the Egyptians built a very large dam, so now they're able to control the floods, and they also utilize it for electricity. Okay? So the big things are it's the longest, it uses silt, and there's now a dam there. Okay? That's what it looks like. That's what the dam looks like. All right. Then you have the Congo River. It is in the Congo Basin. All right. In the Congo River, it runs through the rainforest. It's the second longest river. It is fed by hundreds of tributaries, or smaller rivers. And it is a huge source of food for people. It helps people grow lots of grains and cassava. And then they're able to fish from the river using basket traps. You have the Niger River, which is Africa's 3rd longest river. It provides water and farming for this valley and fishing for eating. You can see in this area right here too, this is when we were talking about the most densely populated areas, right? They have this river here that feeds into, so it helps with fertile land. It also helps with the development of the Mali and Ghana empires during that time period. And you have the Zambezi River. This is the 4th. Yeah, I know this one's really pretty. This one is what you're looking at is actually Victoria Falls, but it feeds into. This is where Victoria Falls is found in the Zambezi River, and the man that's like hanging over the edge, that's called the Devil's Pool. There's like a portion of the waterfall that's not actually pushing you, so you can actually wade in the area. You can actually swim very close to the waterfall. And no, there has not been any reported deaths of people falling off of this area, so it is safe. So if you just don't swim. Well, you do need to have, they have guides and stuff. So, all right, and okay, then you have 4 different biomes. You have the tropical rainforest. All right, that's what it looks like when you look up at the rainforest. Okay, this region, make sure you're taking notes. This region is much smaller today because of deforestation. All right, and then once the trees are cut away, the rain washes away the land's fertile nutrients. So you can see the area, the first picture where it's super green, and then you see the area that's kind of yellow. You can see how much of West Africa they have actually removed the forests. So it's a significant amount. And when you remove forests, that also leads to what we call desertification, where you turn climates into a desert. All right, also lots of diseases, okay? So when things are very tropical, we have lots of flies and mosquitoes are a huge vector for disease. They carry West Nile, they carry Zika, they carry malaria, they carry, yes?
So it transfers disease because it's part of its long thing punctures the skin. Yeah. And then there's another part that shoots little things to make your blood still. That's what causes the diseases. And then it drinks the still blood.
Oh, sure. Here you can see this is the area of what we consider the tropical rainforest. Okay? Not that big, right? You would think it'd be bigger for a place like Africa. Right? Now we also have what's called the savannas. There are dry and wet savannas, but they're both essentially the same thing. There's a region of tall grasses. They have tropical wet and then a dry climate. There's 2 seasons. The dry season is impossible for farming. Okay. This is when we think about Africa. Okay, when you think about most people when they imagine Africa, they're imagining the savanna, because that's where you get all of these things, right? Tall grass, the big animals. That is the savanna. All right. Now the savanna takes up a lot more area of Africa. So you can see, I actually on my iPad, I took this map and I sat there and I colored in white so you can clearly see where it is. This map is also on your Schoology page, so you will be coloring it in as well. All right. And then deserts in Africa, the nomads are people who live from place to place. We learned about the Berbers. And you have the Sahel, which is the shore. This is the desert-like region that borders the Sahara Desert, and it only gets 4 to 8 inches of rain per year. Okay, so super, super dry, not a lot there. So 4 to 8 inches of rain. Okay. And then the biggest problem of the Sahel region is the desertification, like I was mentioning, which is the expansion of the deserts into natural barriers. Make sure you're taking notes. You have all the here, I don't know if they each one. Alright, so okay, looking at this, so look, I highlighted it right now in white. In your, what do you notice about the size? What do you think, hey, what kind of impact does this have? Talk to the person next to you. You have 30 seconds, go. All right, thank you for that. Let's see. Kaden, what did your group? All right, wait, come back. Kaden, what did your group say? Hold on, I should only hear Kaden. Okay, so it's mostly in the north and the south. Good. Miri, what did your table say about the impact? There's no fertile land, exactly. There's very little fertile land, or a good portion of it is taken up. Yes, Shauna?
You said it, like fatality might be higher there because of like lack of water.
True. Might be more death because you need water to live. Alright, we gotta move on because I want to make sure you guys have time to make a map. And then finally you have what's called the montane or the Mediterranean region. Looks very similar to what we have here in California. These are the areas near the Atlas Mountains and Mount Kilimanjaro. They don't contain a lot, Sammy and Blaze. They're not a very big area. They have mild, wet winters and dry summers like us. Similar climate to California, short wood shrubs, okay? So very similar to California in a lot of ways. You know how we have our mountains, but it's kind of dry. Because of the elevation that is Africa, that's why we get these things, because as the air moves over mountains, it usually makes the other side, or the front side of those mountains dry. Alright? You have Mount Kilimanjaro. It is a dormant volcano. It is the largest mountain in Africa. It's located in Tanzania. And people can climb it. So you can see, this is actually the smallest person to ever climb Mount Kilimanjaro. She's only 6 years old. So, yes, you too can climb this. No. Alright. But yes, if you wanted to, this is one of those big mountains that you can climb. Alright? And look at how little there is. Very, very small. So the montane regions are only here. They're only in this part, the Mediterranean, where the Atlas Mountains are. In this part, near Lake Victoria, where we're talking about and the Imperial Valley. And very down here, all the way, this is the Cape of Good Hope.
Yeah.
Right? Cape of Good Hope, I believe is what that's called. Hold on.
Are really big and how the deserts affect other continents around them.
That is true.
Like one thing you might notice, like the UK is at the same level of like North Canada, but the UK is like way warmer than North Canada. You might not think it's warmer, way warmer than North Canada, and it's because like
Hold on, guys.
the air from the dry deserts is up there to make it warmer.
That's true. Also, when there's a huge dust storm, the dust from the Sahara can travel. They've had documentation where it travels all the way to China before. All right. So on your maps, you need to include the Atlas Mountains, the Nile River, the Zambezi River, the Niger River, the Sahara Desert, the Red Sea, Mount Kilimanjaro, the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Congo River, Lake Victoria. The instructions are on the map itself. Okay. Wait. Hold on. Let me just. Okay, you need to color it. I don't care if you do yellow, orange, green, just make sure you give me a key at the bottom. And then, where can you find all the information you would need in order to draw this map? If you go in, Schoology, if you go into the week 14 file, hey, come on boys, focus. If you go into the week 16 Schoology page, at the bottom, there is a thing that says the map links. Here is a link to the physical map. These are the biomes, right? The different things that I showed you, the savanna, the rainforest. And this video is a person drawing the map in case you need help identifying where the things are. Okay? Questions about you?
America or any other like more centralized country uses like wind cover for sending in air support or air.
I guess, but we also have invisible planes that we don't need that one.
We also have
A stealth bomber will bring out declaration war. So it'd be easier to
I mean, I don't, but I think it would be too difficult to even fly in that.
Would not be that.
You would not. Okay.
Yeah, like when America was bombing
I'll send
Japan,
it around to
their
the
planes almost failed because the jet streams were so strong.
Oh, and I agree, you guys can.
F-22 is an even bigger statement of war, and they know it's from America then. Because an F-22 is something only America has.
Alright, so right now you guys are making your maps. Oh, and I put the colored pencils on your paper, on your desk. Okay? So Tyler first.
No, I think it's a boat.
Yeah, bro, I think it's
Okay,
not.
okay.
I think we can fly boats on land. Fly boats on land.
You know what, bro? I think it's y'all. I think it's y'all.
It's Transformers.
I know all the countries.
Or just do your work. You don't have to.
Nah, I think this is super fun.
Yeah, if you zoom forward on that, Sadie, you'll see. Does everybody have access to the map? I just need to. I have to submit attendance real quick. Yes, sir. It's in the week 16 folder at the bottom of the page where I put it. Ezra, you good?
Yeah.
All right. Hey. It sounded like a frog from what's that thing? Animal Crossing. Has anybody asked about that? Sandy thoughts?
Oh wait, 45. This house costs $15 out.
Bro, my mouth is impressive.
This is wired. This is wired.
Wired is better.
No, it's not.
Wired is better. It's not better.
It's not. Yo, I have
Do you get how to do the biomes? You know where you're putting the.
But it does. But it does.
Okay, you have your map open. Okay. You know what you're looking for? Why is your map? Why is it so far from you?
okay.
That's the color. So the bio one is the coloring one, the other one. So you have to label those things on the map and then. Yeah.
I'm very good at this. That's fine. I broke it!
Oh my god. No, no, no.